3, 2, 1. Hey, sports fans, PBC Sportscast with our morning edition here, live on the first edition of the college football playoffs. Well, technically it started yesterday, but we don't really care. We're only picking today's games. PB's got a little tea. I have a little tea. Unfortunately, he's doing it out of choice. I'm doing it out of necessity because I have a little bit of a cold, so we'll see what happens. All right. Hey, first thing I got to say, a little RIP. Sorry to say Mike Leach, who is the godfather of my football playbooks when I was a coach, passed away this week. I studied his materials left and right. He was the godfather of the air raid offense, and he was a wonder, that's for sure. A little bit of a quirky guy. That's why he never really got the big jobs, but still a great coach, in my opinion. PB, another multi-million-dollar shortstop signing. Carlos Correa gets $350 million for 13 years. He's going to play till he's 41 shortstop. Is that going to happen?
It's a trend in baseball right now, signing these guys to deals that take them beyond their career years, really. I don't get it.
It just blows my mind, man. It blows my mind. Hey, by the way, the Sox introduced that little 5'7" guy there from Japan, Yoshida, Yoshida, whatever. I'll tell you what, he might be shorter than that because he was standing next to Chaim Bloom, who's not a tall guy. He was only at Chaim Bloom's shoulder. I do not see this guy. They gave him $90 million. By the way, Andrew Benintendi signed for $75 million to the White Sox yesterday. He's a proven outfielder. Why not go get him?
Right.
I've lost my mind. All right. Hey, Caleb Williams, he won that Heisman Trophy, as you said. We all said that. But did he really need a 2-hour speech? I mean, that thing, I took a nap and I woke up, he was still talking. It's unfreaking believable. All right, World Cup today. Argentina, you got France. You still sticking with France?
Yeah, tomorrow morning, actually. Yeah, I got
tomorrow morning, yeah.
Yep, yeah. I got France to win that over Argentina.
One quick question for you. Lionel Messi, does he have to win a World Cup to be the GOAT? I mean, some people already call him the GOAT, but don't you think he needs to win at least one World Cup for Argentina?
I think it would be nice to have, but I don't think it's a necessity. I think he's already cemented his legacy.
Hey, to me, Pele, however you want to pronounce it, he's won 2. To me, until you get at least one, you can't be in the same conversation. That's how I look at it.
All right.
Hey, Governor Charlie Baker, Massachusetts, he ended his last term this past month. He's taken the job as the president of the NCAA. I don't know how much you know about Baker. He was a governor when you were here, Paul. I think that's a really good move. What do you think?
I think it's interesting.
He's a guy's a Republican governor in a heavy Democratic state for 2 years, and he worked with everybody. There's no way he can't fix the NCAA mess. Don't you think?
One would think so.
I would think so, man. Hey, by the way, Ovi scored his 800th goal. PB, I got to ask you, you're the hockey guy. First of all, will he catch Gretzky?
Wait, who'd you ask me? I couldn't hear you.
Ovechkin. He scored his 800th goal. 894, right? 894 is the record.
Think Ovi's playing like he can keep playing. He doesn't seem. I mean, he gets a couple injuries here and there, but he usually bounces back pretty quickly. Talent-wise, he certainly can do it. It's just a question of how long in his career he can play, and he can do it in the next couple of years, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a long way to go. 94 goals, though, so he has to get 2, basically 50-goal seasons, right?
Yeah, I would say he'd need this year, maybe a couple more to start to sniff it. Yep.
Wait, Gordie Howe, who he's next to, right? 801. I think I don't know if he played last night, but he's 801 is Gordie Howe's record. But Gordie had 100+ goals in the WHA that don't count. Is that right? I mean, did you think that's right?
That's a tough one. I mean, you could almost make the same case about some of the all-time leading passers in professional football when you count guys like Warren Moon, who had obviously yards outside of the NFL. Guys
Canadian.
They tend to bring that into the equation a little bit. So you're still playing professional football, but it's a different league. So I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm there.
Okay. All right, let's move on to a little NFL talk. We'll do NFL first, college second. Boy won to Purdy, Brock Purdy, right? Yeah. He won again Thursday night. This offense actually looks, I hate to say it. I mean, I like Jimmy G, but Brock looks more effective in this offense. Do you agree?
He does, and I was concerned about him playing on the road for the first time in one of the hardest places to play up in Seattle, right, with the 12th man, and Debo-less, right? He didn't have Debo, but that didn't bother him at all. He utilized Kittle excellently, right? He utilized McCaffrey nicely. I just thought he has command of that offense. He looks poised. The defense is stout, so they obviously help him, by keeping the games in there. I mean, they only scored 21, but they only need to score 21, right? If he can do that every week, they're going to be fine. To me, they look like one of the better teams in the NFL.
Don't forget last week, right? You said only 21 on the road, but last week they played Tampa Bay and scored 35.
Right. And they also took a knee on the 1 yard line at the end of the game where they could have punched it in and been 28, right? I don't know if you remember this, but last year when we started our college show, right, I had a sleeper pick for the Heisman. Do you remember who it was?
Brock Purdy, yeah.
It was Brock Purdy. And when he was with Iowa State, he just looked like a quarterback that had some potential. Obviously, Shanahan and company saw that same potential, and now here he is on the team, third string, chips fall his way. Sometimes it's about opportunity and getting that opportunity. I'm sure there's other guys in the NFL that never get the same chance or have the same coaching, the same weapons around them that put them in situations where they can be successful. I guarantee you there's probably first rounders that get put in. We know there's first rounders that get put into very bad situations and just never flourish, like a Geno Smith when he was drafted by the Jets, as an example, you know?
Well, and don't forget, I also picked Iowa State as my sleeper team 2 years in a row for the college football playoffs because of Brock Purdy and that team. Brock Purdy started 48 games in college. To me, that's a big deal. I mean, Trey Lance, remember, started 13 games, right?
Right.
So 48 games in the NFL semi-pro league or JV league or minor league, whatever you want to call it, because that's what college football basically is. That's a lot of games.
It is a lot of games, and that begs the question, now that you bring it up, what happens next year when all three of these guys are healthy? Well, we know, Jimmy G, potentially they're even saying could come back for the playoffs, but I don't think he would just be automatically inserted into the lineup. And then going into next year, if it's a 3-quarterback competition, do you think Purdy could win out that job?
They got to start Trey because he was the number one pick and let him try to keep the job, and then we'll see what happens. But to your earlier point, if the Niners don't lose another game going into the playoffs, Jimmy G, healthy or not, doesn't play. You can't. Okay. It's like this is like 2001, man. It's Brady all over again, but with a little more, I think, oof into the game because Purdy can run, right? So that's what it's looking like. It's a reminder of that.
All right.
Speaking of Brady, it's time to say his arm is shot. I've seen him throw too many spiked balls into the ground or too many overthrows, and that's for one reason only. A quarterback who can't throw with his legs can't throw the ball very well, except the unique quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes can throw arm throws. Aaron Rodgers could throw arm throws. Justin Herbert. Brady, unless he has his full body completely torqued around, stepping into the ball, can't throw the ball. To me, that says your arm is shot. His arm is gone. That's quite frankly what it is. Without a clean pocket, without stepping out, without torquing his hips, he can't throw the ball. Yeah.
Yep. And, he's getting up there. I mean, next year he's going to be starting the season at 46. I mean, how much longer can the guy really play? But I think his mind is telling his body that he can play,
Yeah. And by the way, the one thing that's not happening next year, everybody keeps talking about, he's probably going to go to San Fran. After this Brock Purdy thing, and having Trey Lance on the bench and Jimmy G, there's no way they're bringing in Tom Brady. Do you agree?
100%. They have the best quarterback room in the NFL by far right now in San Francisco.
I will take the field on that bet, but he ain't going to San Francisco.
Right.
That's for sure. All right, you got any other takeaways before we make some picks?
Dolphins stumbling, obviously, big deal. Staying out on the West Coast, dropping both those games to San Francisco and then to the Chargers, I think is a big deal. Now they got to go up tonight to Buffalo. So, this could be 3 losses in a row and just
I hate to say it for you, PB. It's going to be 4. They're not going to win in New England on Christmas Eve in the snow.
And they may not do that either. And now you're looking at a team that's, going to miss the playoffs potentially.
Yep.
On the other side of that, Lions look like they could be the real deal. G-Money's little sleeper NFC pick. I mean, this team's playing hot right now. A lot will come out of this weekend because they still have to pretty much run the table. Maybe they could afford one more loss, but this game at the Jets is going to be a big deal, especially with, White not playing and Wilson being inserted back into the lineup. So we'll see what goes there. And then I got another one for you. I had Purdy on there, but we already talked about Purdy. You're not going to like this, but let me explain myself afterwards. The Ravens, they are the worst 9-4 team in football. And the reason why I say that is because only them and the Bengals are 9-4. There's no other 9-4 team in the NFL. So, and when it comes down to the Bengals and Ravens right now, I think the Bengals have the edge, and I think that's the Bengals division to win. So I'm being a little facetious when I say, they're the worst 9-4 team in football, but the reality is it's between them and the Bengals. So.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hey, by the way, Tyler Huntley went down in that game, and old BC quarterback Anthony Brown came in and won the game. So there's another team with 3 quarterbacks. There you go.
Yeah, right.
By the way, Kyler Murray, tough loss last week. Him going down the Monday night game with an injury like that. Whew. That now we have now $230 million quarterbacks not doing anything. Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and I guess you could add Deshaun. Well, Deshaun's more than 230, I think, right? But all right, let's make some picks. Let's start with that Baltimore team. They go to Cleveland with Deshaun Watson playing. Tyler Huntley will play. Apparently, he did clear the protocol, so it will not be Anthony Brown. Tyler will start. What do you think?
Yeah, and this is the only game out of the 6 where G Money and I are not on the same page. We picked identical on all other 5 games. He's got the Ravens. I got the Browns. I think the Browns, knowing that the situation, we know Lamar's not playing, right? When Lamar's not playing, that kind of eliminates Andrews, like how good he can be, I think, because I don't think other quarterbacks get him the ball as well as Lamar does, who's probably their best offensive weapon. Their running backs are just so mediocre. And I think Cleveland can really dominate this game. It's at home. They can leverage the run game effectively, obviously, with Chubb. And then, we're seeing Deshaun Jackson progress as these games are going on. I know he came out of the gate rusty. Last week, he looked a little better. I do expect him this week to, throw for a touchdown or 2, maybe run for 1, probably get over 50 yards rushing. He's going to start to come into his own, especially in this divisional matchup, without anything to play for. They can't make the playoffs. I think the Ravens can. They want to play spoiler. It's a divisional opponent. They're at home. I like the Browns.
So you're actually incorrect about the running back. J.K. Dobbins came back finally, 17 for 120. To me, says you don't suck as a running team. So he ran very, very good. If you saw any of the highlights, I think Baltimore wins. I'm with G Money on that one. All right, Miami goes up to Buffalo. It's going to be like minus something degrees, I think, wind chill factor, 20 degrees, regular temperature. Tua, Wilts in the cold. I think if Buffalo doesn't score a shutout in this game, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, me too. And for fantasy purposes, I'm kind of excited about that because I'm going up against 2 in one league and I'm going up against Tyreek Hill in another. I agree with the cold. I mean, Tua's played. He's born in Hawaii, right? He played high school ball there. He went to college in Alabama. He claims he played a snow game in Alabama. Like there's probably a few flurries in the sky or something.
That's like skiing. That's like skiing in California. Girls are wearing bikinis skiing in the snow. Come on.
Yeah, right. It's right. It's not the same. So yeah, it's going to be, and it's a night game. On top of everything else, it's not a sunny. It's not, the sun's not out. You know from being in Boston, not being in Boston, if it's 30 degrees and there's no wind and the sun's out, that's like a perfect winter day. You can't ask for more than that. This isn't going to be like that because it's going to be dark. There's not going to be that warmth of the sun. It's going to be a cold, frigid game, and Miami's just not used to that. And I know Mike McDaniel's pumping up his team. He's wearing the shirts. It's not cold enough, all this other kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, this is Buffalo's game. And to your point, I can see Miami scoring 13 or less.
Yeah. All right. This is one I can't believe we're going to talk about as a playoff game potentially. Winner probably gets a shot or into the playoffs. Detroit goes to the Jets. Hard to believe this one.
I know. This is a tough one to play because the Jets defense alone could win them this game.
I would say this. If Mike White was able to play, I would pick the Jets because Zach Wilson's horrible, but Zach's starting, and it's the only reason why I'm picking Detroit. Yeah,
and I'm picking Detroit too for the same reason. But at the end of the day, the Jets defense, like I said, if they pull a page out of Belichick's book and what the Patriots did to the Lions this year, Lions were running away with games. They were scoring 30, 40 points a game. They ran into the Patriots and scored 0, right? So if the Jets can do that, somehow confuse them offensively, they could win this game because the Jets aren't going to need many points to win if they can hold Detroit down.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Mentor versus mentee. The Patriots go to Las Vegas. The better offensive coordinator is not on the Patriots this time. He happens to be the head coach of the Vegas team. What do you think?
Yeah, but I still think the Patriots can win this game. Vegas gives up a ton of points to quarterbacks, from a fantasy perspective. Quarterbacks just go in, they just light up the Raiders. And I think it's kind of the same deal like with the Jets and the Lions. I think the Patriots defense alone will keep Vegas at bay, and New England can do enough to win. So low scoring game, 17-13, 20-17 kind of win for the Patriots.
So here's the problem. The Patriots don't have a quarterback. Well, maybe they do, but they have a bad offensive coordinator situation. I don't think they expose that. At the end of the day, 17 points will not win this game. Yes, Patriots defense is playing well, but I don't think they have enough power in the defensive backfield to cover the receivers. And Josh Jacobs is a really good running back. You've liked him a lot. You've taken him in some fantasies, I think, in the past. He's coming around. He's finally waking up. They're starting to utilize him. So we'll see. I mean, the wild card is the quarterbacks. Can Derek Carr stop throwing pickups? Yeah. And can Mac Jones make plays downfield? Or will Matt Patricia let him make plays downfield? Is more like it. I'm going Vegas. You're going New England. I know G Money's New England, right?
Yeah, and you went against New England last week with the Cardinals, and New England won that one. So
asterisk there. Kyler Murray goes down in the third play. Different story. Yeah. Kyler stays in the game. So
that's true.
All right, Cincinnati goes to Tampa Bay. Cincinnati's a little banged up, Paul, going into this game, man. PB, so a little beware. But again, we talked about the misery of the Tampa Bay team. What do you think?
I just think it's Cincinnati's game. They know they're right there at the top of the division, tied with Baltimore. They got to keep winning. I'm sure they want to get that home playoff game under their belt and not have to go on their road in the first round. So, and we know Tampa's struggled at times, unless their defense really can just step up and shut Cincy down. That's their only chance of really winning. I'm going to go Cincy.
I am as well. Yeah. All right. This one's a tie. PB is going. G Money's going.
He's going Cincy as well.
He is. Okay. All right. Tennessee Chargers. The question of the day is, what Tennessee team shows up? The Tennessee team that rolled over a few opponents early in the year, or the Tennessee team that's struggling right now? Because if it's that Tennessee team, Chargers, who are starting to wake up a little, and they're getting Keenan and Mike Williams healthy again, right?
Yeah. In a vacuum, you could certainly make a case for Tennessee in this game, but they're going in two different directions, though. Tennessee's, streaming downward. They're probably still going to win that division and get that home playoff game, and whatever wildcard team gets to go into Tennessee is going to be very fortunate, because that should be a game that road team can win. And the Chargers are in the opposite direction. Chargers will win it, including the big win last week against Miami. So I think they continue that momentum and they beat the Titans.
I'm going with Chargers as well. G-Money, obviously. We know he's going with the Chargers.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a little bowling time. Hey, by the way, we have a pool up on the Facebook page, right? Fans can go in and pick these bowl games.
Yeah, we got 7 or 8 people are again on the spread. There's a spread one and there's a straight up one, and I think we have 4 or 5 people on the straight up one. I don't know if they lock for good, but there's only been 2 games so far out of 41 bowls, so you can still go in and make your picks.
I believe the ATS one you could pick right up to 3 hours before the game.
Okay. All
right. Hey, by the way, one bowl we didn't pick was called the Amos Alonso Stag Bowl, more commonly now just referred to as a Stag Bowl. Do you know what that is?
Nope.
It played last night. It's the Division III title game.
Oh.
North Central beat Mount Union last year in the semifinals, but lost to Mary Hardin Baylor. But this year they won the whole thing. I happened to pick Mount Union. They didn't win. I saw them play last week in a great game against I can't even think of it now. But they had score. It was 30-point score in the fourth quarter. It was good action. And by the way, another game last night, the FCS semifinal, first game, Incarnate Word played North Dakota State. The Bison of North Dakota State ended up winning that game 28-21. I saw some highlights. It was a pretty good game. Today, South Dakota State, 6.5-point favorite. They play against Montana State. Little FYI, before you pick South Dakota State, Montana State beat them last year in the same game.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's do our college six-pack, starting with the first Fenway game ever today. I think they call it the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, or whatever the heck that is. I'm just calling it the Fenway Bowl. Cincinnati plays Louisville, who's a 2-point favorite. What do you think?
Going Cincinnati.
By the way, this game used to be a conference rival until Louisville went to the ACC. Right. They used to call it the Kegs and Neals game.
All right. Okay. I'm going with the Bearcats. I'll take the 2 points.
Little FYI before what did PIG Money say?
He's got, ironically, we have the same picks all the way through on the college. So, yeah.
By the way, here's a little subplot to this. The Louisville head coach has now taken the Cincinnati head coach job. I think his name is Scott Satterfield, if I'm not mistaken. What team does he coach tomorrow? Or today?
Cincinnati?
I don't know. I don't know if he's allowed to be on the field. What the heck? This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm taking Cincinnati in the game as well, with both teams probably not having a coach on the field. All right, the New Mexico Bowl. The New Mexico Bowl. We got BYU playing SMU. I've been up and down on this one all along. SMU's a 3.5-point favorite. What do you think?
I'm going to take the points with BYU. Give me the 3.5. I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, I'm going with the points as well. I'm taking BYU too. I was almost taking SMU. I am taking on the win on our other pool, but I got BYU at least getting the points. All right, UConn's in a bowl game for the first time in forever. I think they're 6-6 to get in. They play Marshall, who beat Notre Dame earlier this year. Marshall's a 10-point favorite. They're playing in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. What do you think?
I'm laying the 10, taking Marshall. UConn's pitiful. I'm surprised you made a bowl.
Yeah, I'm with you all the way. Congratulations, they did, but they're going to get skunked. All right, Liberty plays Toledo. Liberty's coach moved on. Toledo has their coach. They're a 4.5-point favorite. What do you think? This is the Boca Raton, another Florida Bowl.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Liberty play this year. I have seen Toledo play. Toledo's look pretty good. I'm going to lay the points on this one too, -4.5. I'm going to go Toledo.
You're laying the points, or okay? So
yeah,
I'm going to take the point. I'm going to take the points. I got Liberty.
Okay, we're different on that.
I have Toledo to win though. All right, Western Kentucky faces South Alabama. I know a little about Western Kentucky, by the way. That's where Billy Zappi came from. Yep. South Alabama is a 4.5-point favorite in a game that has to be almost a home game for them. It's the New Orleans Bowl, so the next state over. What do you think?
You're going Western Kentucky in this one again. I'll take the points. Take the 4.5. Western Kentucky.
I am as well. All right. Air Force Baylor. Air Force is a tricky team if you've never played against them. They have that run game, like all the military academies, very efficient, very effective at it. Baylor has not played a military academy in a couple of years. Baylor's a 5.5-point favorite. This is the Armed Forces Bowl. What do you think?
Yeah, and 5.5 might be a lot to give on this one, but I think Baylor can cover. I'm going to take the Bears and lay the 5.5.
Ooh, okay. I am as well. All right, man. All right. By the way, we've stretched these bowls out. 2 of them are today, and then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday bowls in these games. So
I'm surprised we didn't pick the Florida-Oregon State game today.
I wanted to spread out some games over the week, and that game looks to be a blowout potentially. So,
all right,
man. Good show. Talk to you soon.